Next up is the show Dave, Dave, which I was put onto by my brother Dave. Shout out to David. The show was written by and co-created by Dave Bird, which is Lil Dicky, the rapper that the show is about. Lil Dicky is the protagonist, if you will. And it was co-written by and created by Alex Russell and Jeff Schaefer. It's a really dope show. I liken it to the white version of Atlanta, which, by the way, when is that coming back? I gotta look that up. But it's super well done, well written, funny, creative. Andrew Santino's in it, the comic. He plays Lil Dicky's best friend and manager. Shout out to the Whiskey Ginger podcast. He's great in it. And the show depicts the life of rapper Lil Dicky, who is a white Jewish rapper, as he's on the come up. And I personally didn't know who Lil Dicky was before this show. This was definitely a dope way to be introduced to him. At least it was for me. And, then I looked into some of his music and music videos, which were interesting, and his music in general. And he portrays himself on the show as like this comedic, kind of satirical type rapper. Like one of his most popular songs is My Dick Sucks, which is very self-deprecating. And he does shit like, there's a dope video of his that I like called Save That Money. And he like does this like mini documentary for the actual video. So you can see like the behind the scenes of it. And, it's like a typical flashy hip hop rap video where, you got hot girls and dope cars and money and yachts and stuff like that all throughout the video. We wanted to create this video without spending a dime. Like, for example, there's a scene in the video in a mansion, and he literally goes door knocking to several different mansions and asking people if he can, borrow their mansion for like 15 minutes. So him and his buddies could record this video, and this little old lady actually lets them in and to do it. So that's pretty sick. That's a segment of the video. Then he links up with T-Pain that's shooting his own music video for a song of his. And he thinks like the whole idea is like super funny of what Lil Dicky is doing. And he allows Lil Dicky just to have his camera on the side. And then Lil Dicky just like pretending that it's his video, like with the backdrop of like T-Pain's video and all the shit that T-Pain has going on. And you see Lil Dicky just like dancing and shit. And like that's a scene in it, etc. I'll link to that in the episode notes. Actually, you guys should check it out. Both the music video and the like mini documentary of it. And not for nothing, his like I'm not like crazy about the like his content too much, but his rap style is pretty dope. Like he knows how to ride a beat really well, like really ill. He like stays in pocket, and his rap actually paints a picture. Like the shit that he raps about, I can picture, which is not the case with all rappers, right? So they're definitely enjoyable listens. And like the humor and logic of some of the shit that he is saying, I do find refreshing. It was also dope that in the season finale, he made it to the Breakfast Club, which as the season was being written and created, wasn't the case. Like that, for example, the season finale wasn't, I believe, or at least that piece of it wasn't written into the show while the season started, like while the show was airing. Like that wasn't written into it yet. And Charlemagne actually spoke to that on his podcast on Brilliant Idiots. And I like how his character in the show has like no filter at all. He's like super honest about the thoughts that are on his mind, but a little like too honest and open at times. And the same goes to the people in his like immediate orbit, like his girl and his best friend and his producer and his hype man. And it's dope how the show explores the well-known dichotomy between artistic expression versus industry. And he's like this creative that wants to stay being creative, and he's like, fuck the industry and trying to put me into a box and trying to shape my creative output in any way whatsoever. And then his manager is trying to like balance that to make it so that he actually makes money. And what's cool is that he's like a little like gun shy about, like, he's like, he falls into the paralysis by analysis bucket with his creativity. Like it'll take him like months and just like forever to like create one song. When asked to rap and stuff like that, he like doesn't want to, and he's like a little gun shy. But when he's like put up to the test, like backed up into a corner and just like in the most uncomfortable spot ever, like in an episode that YG is in, and he's in studio with them. He's trying to get a verse from YG to put onto one of his tracks, and people are clowning him like, "What? You're a rapper? You ain't a rapper or whatever." Then he just starts freestyling and spitting, and just impresses the shit out of everybody in the room. Like that was a dope scene. Like the spoiler alert, by the way. Like in the season finale as well, while he's on the Breakfast Club, and there's this moment where his entire team, including Label, are expecting him to just like double down on his creativity and follow this vision that he had with breaking a song on the Breakfast Club that was extremely controversial and nobody was on the same page with him about releasing. And he's like, fuck that, I'm gonna do it. Then he has this like change of heart epiphany almost, like while he's in the middle of the interview on the Breakfast Club, and doesn't go the route of breaking that song that his label and everybody on his team thought would just end all the momentum that they've built up to that point and be like career suicide kind of. He decided to actually take their advice and not do that, and instead decided to freestyle and wound up doing a dope freestyle on air on the Breakfast Club. So he was in that tight corner and got himself out of it using his creativity once again. The show also explores like communication amongst your friends, amongst your relationship with a significant other. It touches on mental illness issues, like his hype man, which is bipolar in the show. Shout out to Gator. But yeah, it's a really good show. I definitely recommend it. The season finale itself is dope. Like you can watch that in and of itself, and it's just like a dope piece of episodic television. It starts off with a literal 12-minute song that's like a fucking mini film, and it just starts like the show starts off and it goes into it, and you're like for 12 minutes like, what the fuck? Which, by the way, the ad libs within that video, within that 12-minute long music video, are fucking hilarious, which again is a testament to the creators and writers of the show and how they're able to infuse funny into it. Anyways, check it out. The show is called Dave. I believe the network that it's on is A&E, or if not, it's AME, or if not, it's FX or FXX. I can never remember from those four. But you can watch it on Hulu if you have Hulu, or just Google Dave, DAVE. I'm sure you'll find it. Either way, check it out.